Imagine you are incredibly rich. We are talking billions of dollars, magazine covers, awards, the most trusted name in the room. Now imagine every single dollar of it was completely made up, not struggling, not unlucky, made up. Today we are counting down the 5 biggest corporate frauds in history. The lies were enormous. The people who told them were even more so. And the ones who got hurt? Just about everyone. Let's get into it. Imagine you sell organic juice. You tell everyone it is 100% natural, no sugar, no additives, pure health in a bottle. Whole Foods loves you. Doctors recommend you. You win awards. There is just one small issue. The juice is basically soda, but you figured out how to make it past the health inspection. That is Volkswagen. For years, they marketed their diesel cars as clean, efficient, and environmentally friendly. They even won Green Car of the Year. Let that sink in for a second. Green Car of the Year. The cars were pumping out nitrogen oxide emissions up to 40 times the legal limit. 40 times. To hide it, they programmed the cars with software that detected when an emissions test was happening. During the test, perfect behavior. Clean as a whistle. The moment the test ended, straight back to destroying the atmosphere. 11 million cars. Worldwide. 6 years. When the EPA caught them in 2015, the stock lost 27 billion euros in 5 days. The CEO resigned. $33 billion in fines and settlements. Somewhere out there, a Volkswagen diesel car passed its emissions test. Technically. Imagine your business is losing money. Bad month. Bad quarter. Bad year. So you open your expenses notebook, look at every bill going out, and just write it down as income coming in instead. Problem solved. Mathematically, on paper, in a notebook, for investors who trusted you. That is WorldCom's entire financial strategy. WorldCom was one of the biggest telecom companies in America. CEO Bernie Ebbers built it into a giant. But by 2000, the business was quietly dying, so CFO Scott Sullivan started reclassifying expenses as investments. Your electricity bill becomes a real estate purchase. Your operating costs become long-term assets. Over 2 years, $11 billion in hidden losses, the largest accounting fraud in American history at the time. Now here is the part that should embarrass every regulator alive. The person who found it was not the government, not the FBI, not the SEC, one internal auditor. Cynthia Cooper, working late at night, with a small team. After her own boss told her to stop digging, she did not stop. WorldCom filed for bankruptcy in July 2002. 30,000 people lost their jobs. Bernie Ebbers, a Sunday school teacher by hobby, got 25 years in prison. A Sunday school teacher, running the second biggest corporate fraud in American history. The irony is so perfect it almost feels staged. Imagine you tell a hospital you have invented a machine that can diagnose every disease. They believe you. They let real patients use it. The only problem is the machine does not actually work. That is Theranos. In 2003, a 19-year-old dropped out of Stanford. She said she was going to revolutionize healthcare. Her device could run 200 medical tests from just one tiny drop of blood. Investors loved it. Magazines put her on every cover. Her net worth hit $9 billion. The only thing that did not love her idea was reality. The machine barely worked. And this was not just a tech startup failing quietly. Patients were being told they had HIV, cancer, diabetes, real people, real diagnoses. All wrong. Meanwhile, Theranos was secretly using regular third-party lab machines, while telling patients their revolutionary technology was doing it. Holmes raised $700 million on a machine that did not work. Theranos told investors it would make $100 million in revenue in 2014. The actual number was 100,000, off by 1,000 times. Holmes was sentenced to 11 years in prison in 2022. It turns out a black turtleneck and a very deep voice can take you surprisingly far, just not far enough. If you had to pick one fraud that actually changed the law, it is Enron. Enron was an energy company based in Texas. By 2001, it was the seventh largest company in America. Fortune magazine called it the most innovative company in the country. 6 years in a row. It was almost entirely fictional. Enron created what they called special purpose entities. Think of them as secret storage units for debt. Every loss they did not want anyone to see got quietly moved into these shadow companies. On paper, Enron looked spotless. In reality, they had hidden over $23 billion in liabilities. It is like maxing out 15 credit cards, hiding the statements in your neighbor's mailbox, and telling the bank you have zero debt. CFO Andrew Fastow designed it. CEO Jeff Skilling signed off. And 4 months before the collapse, a vice president named Sharon Watkins warned Chairman Ken Lay directly that the company could implode. He did nothing. By December 2001, Enron filed for bankruptcy. $74 billion in shareholder value gone. 20,000 employees lost their jobs and retirement savings at the same time. Arthur Andersen, one of the biggest accounting firms in the world, got caught shredding documents. It went down too. One fraud took down two giants. Everything so far involved companies. Fake documents, hidden accounts, corrupt CFOs and boardrooms. Bernie Madoff just looked people in the eye, shook their hand, and stole everything they had for 20 years. Madoff was Wall Street royalty, former chairman of the NASDAQ, so trusted, so respected, that people begged him to take their money. His fund promised steady, reliable returns no matter what the market did. Rain or shine, Madoff delivered. Here's the thing. There were no returns. There were no investments, no trades, no strategy. Just new investor money being used to pay old investors. A Ponzi scheme so clean it ran for 2 decades without anyone catching it. The SEC received multiple tips about Madoff. They investigated him, cleared him, every single time. It collapsed in 2008 when too many investors wanted their money back at once. Madoff could not cover it. He confessed to his sons. His sons turned him in the next morning. 37,000 victims, 136 countries, $64.8 billion, 150 years in prison. He died there in 2021. The most dangerous fraud is never the loudest person in the room. It is always the one everyone trusted most. 5 frauds. Thousands of lives destroyed. Trillions of dollars gone. The pattern is always the same. Someone decided the truth was not good enough. And for a while, the world believed them. One of these men was even investigated by the government. Multiple times, cleared every single time. The truth always catches up. Just sometimes it takes 20 years. That is Quiet Capital. See you next time.